So, the reason I have these is because to me it represents the 7 days. There's 7 circles, which represent 7 days, which gives credence to the Bible when it says God created the earth in 7 days. But I do not believe that those 7 days are completed. Okay, because it said on the 7th day God rested, which means that it's rest, it's love, it's bliss. Okay, so what I see in this is a process of creation. Now everybody is looking at it like the process of creation is read in a book as it started in one day, it was done the next day, and then all of whatever's happened past that has happened after that, and that's not clear. It's not the truth. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of things that I could say to point things out, but in this time of Earth, I'm just going to speak about my theory and possibility that all of the land on Earth was one solid landmass. Pangea is what it's referred to, and that is where the garden was, the Garden of Eden or whatever people refer it to. But when God created man, he created one man at the same exact time. So when that happened, it wasn't Adam and Eve, it was Adam and Lilith. And it was like sun and moon. They were opposites. They were equals. They were man, woman. And those two are the creators of everything. Through them, they're the children. Okay? So it's kind of like the idea of the Adam and Eve, but not. There's more to that story. So next comes the idea that Adam and Eve were human. Okay? There's nothing, there's no proof, there's no evidence, there's no any literature, there's nothing that says they were human. Nothing says they were human. It just refers to them, you know what I mean, as characters. The first 2 characters God, allowed to be written down and last forever. Okay, but what it was really talking about was his first children. Well, what were his first children? It says right there in Scripture, God created man in his image. Okay, man, not human, so we keep calling ourselves human. We're not human. We're in God's creation species. That means same species. That means if God is a God, then we are baby gods. So if Adam and Lilith, male, female, were baby gods, the first 2. Okay, obviously there's all the rest of us. Okay. But in the beginning there was the first 2. And they had their relationship and they had their involvement with all of the creation of the whole story of what's going on right now. So I got an X sitting right there. Now what the X is the difference of the fact that as the story goes, there came a point where God cut himself off from children. And what that means to me is that, in human term and in our story that we currently understand, that there was only 3 beings that had ever been in the presence of God. There was the original daughter Lilith, there was the next daughter Eve, but Eve was created out of Adam, so they're connected. They're not of Lilith and Adam. So only those 3 beings. But as the story goes, they were separated from God and kicked out of the garden. Okay, well that separation there turns into separation from the universe around it and more isolated to just the earth itself and Pangea. So they went from being gods to becoming more human. Locked in the bubble. That's kicked out of the garden. Locked in the bubble. No more contact with God. So, but all the children that they had no contact with God. They never experienced God. They didn't have, that. So they're the X factor. They're the angels. So as this story goes on, we have a reference of, simple stuff like Cain and Abel. All that is pure and simple conflict of two forces fighting. You move on next, you get to the most famous, infamous story. Noah's flood. The impossible. Said it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. Or flooded, I mean. And God warned, Noah, and was going to just flood the earth and destroy it. Okay. Other parts of the story, he saved 2 of every animal on earth. Other part of the story, no, that's just the Sunday school version. That's all it was. Bad people, God killing bad people, flooded the earth, Noah saved all the animals. That's pretty much the rundown, right? Okay, next step. That's not really what it was. That's not the biblical fucking explanation of the situation going down. The situation going down is there was half angel, half human beings on earth called the Nephilim. And God flooded the earth to destroy them. Another name for them was called demigod. Okay? Half gods. Sounds a hell of a lot like Adam and Eve's children. Okay? What are these? These are gods. They are gods, but they are beings of stupidity. Because they've never experienced the final peace that would, make them a god. And what would that be? Having permission from God. Doesn't mean they're not what they are. It just means that not completely. Because the only people that have ever been in the presence of God are his first 2 children. So, that's why God supposedly did all this. Alright, so we need a scientific explanation for the situation. Alright. So what we got is, we still got the earth form, Pangea. Shit, that's like a lily pad. Okay? Whole world, 70% water. Okay? So the whole world is like a bubble pond with one little lily pad on it. Okay? If you throw an asteroid and the ass into that, what is it going to do? Well, depending on the size of the asteroid, we can use science to verify all this shit. It sure as the heck would be, what's the biggest that science can imagine, you know what I mean? Okay, but they've done a lot of movies about it and everything. Tidal wave that is like miles high. But what would it do in a pond with a lily pad? It would wash over. Wash over. Wash over. Wash over. But wouldn't the ocean eventually calm back down? It would. 40 days and 40 nights. So boats survived all that because they were able to build boats because they were in that kind of level. No, they were in demigod level. Demigod level means the only way to save 2 of every animal on the lily pad was with extremely technological, advanced shit. Way beyond our wildest imagination and our Star Trek movies. It could have been done. Period. There's no proof it wasn't. I can argue that's exactly what happened. So with extremely technological space traveling vehicles, we definitely could have pulled off saving 2 of every animal on Earth. Well, an asteroid impact hit. Because we were different kind of beings. So, what comes next? After, all this happens. Alright. Cool. According to Scripture. Noah sets back down. Boom. He's where he's at. He's instructed specifically, you are not allowed to teach your children about the past. Not allowed. You're not allowed to teach them about the past. So they all go on just knowing the future. They become archaeologists and dig into the past. They find that they were something else back then. They start digging even further and digging even further and trying to build themselves up to be the gods again they used to be. Now, as the story of the Tower of Babel goes, is they tried to build a tower. Oh, hold on. I forgot a couple of key things. During the time of the Tower of Babel, all people spoke one language. All people on earth. You see, the whole earth was destroyed. Whole earth. Everybody. Poof. There was nobody. They just noticed people. During the time of the Tower of Babel, everybody spoke one language. Everybody spoke one culture, one belief, one world, one shit. They dug it back into the past. They tried to build themselves as big gods again. They tried to build this tower up to God. God crashed down the tower. And when he crashed down the tower, because they were wrong in whatever way it says, he made it to where nobody could communicate with anybody anymore. Nobody could talk to anybody anymore. This is the tower crashing as a result of the asteroid impact. Because if the Earth, when it was created, was perfect, it would be like an egg. A rupture from a rock being thrown in a pond, hitting the crust of the Earth like we know about, would definitely crack up the entire situation to where over thousands and thousands of years, which we don't have history books over, there would have been tectonic plate shifts, there would have been tectonic plate movement, and what it would have done is it would have broke us all the way down to Neanderthal and Survivor. Each survivor on each piece of land, as through the however many millions of years that we can't even account for, because there sure as the fuck is zero evidence because of the power of the world and its ability to erase anything it wants. You're lucky you found dinosaurs. You know? Okay. So when it comes down to all of this and its separation, that explains that everything was once. Now it's all separated. And that's the lost 12 tribes and weird shit, blah blah blah, but they don't understand what the book they're reading. So the next thing that comes is that this is the survival. So in this, between this period right here and this period right here is when the book is written. The book explaining this was written here. It was written by a guy who said he had a vision of this. Did the best he could. Now, what's happening is that because of the information explosion, all this could be seen. And it's deeper and bigger and goes way further back. Because it doesn't go way further back scientifically and physically, it goes way further back spiritually and quantum physics. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so if we continue the story on, alright, everybody does what they do. Then we get to a point in the world where the world is trying to war for peace. See that symbol? See all blood? And that's not the blood that he spilt for us. That's the blood spilt in the symbol. Because in his name, the anti-adversary evil guy of the Bible is trying to conquer Earth. Not in his name religiously, in his name by saying that I am all of his ideas. I embody all of his ideas. This is why I'm doing this, so we need to... This is why I'm doing this, we need to kill them. This is why I'm doing this, because I am. He's not. But next, unfortunately, is this. And then this is the warning. We're comfortable, we're not going to be comfortable. It's fucking hell on earth. That's where we kick in. We kick in because there's those of us that are waking up and we realize that we're something else. See, we are the stars. If we're the stars, and imagination is real, manifestation is real, mind over matter is real, and we're sitting in the situation we're sitting in, and that's all real. What's the difference between now and a dream? Do you know if you're dreaming right now or not? I don't know. Do we? We like to think this place is a hell of a lot more stable than we were if we're inside somebody else's dream. I don't know. None of us know. What is deja vu? None of us know. But the thing that I'm raising to the table that everybody else isn't raising to the fucking table is if the stars are living beings, and this entire story is about the creation of the stars, why is nobody talking about it? Why is nobody talking about what? Straight said, my only son. Well, I'm sorry, he made it very obvious. We don't have a world with two suns. A world with one sun. Sitting right there. Every fucking day. Fucks hardcore about looking at it and go, I wonder if that fucking thing is alive. I wonder if it's alive. If that thing's alive, it saw everything. Wait a minute. It says in the book. It says in scripture. It says all over the place. Everything was created through the sun. Holy shit. Do I have science backing me on that? Shh, you damn right I am. Because science says nothing on earth could live without the sun. Holy cow. Am I just some amazing person that figured out how to put two and two together? No. All I am is a witness. I laid out all the facts. I could ramble on for days to try to prove what I've come up with. Bottom line is, I'm just telling the truth.